outside. And it's not going to sit 100% properly on the tailoring form, of course, but that's okay. All I want to do, the reason why I'm putting it here like this, I'm putting it on the form here, inside out, because this is the part that needs to be fixed. This part here is okay. But first I have to fix this part, and I don't want it pulling up. That'll mess up the coat, and I don't want this pulling down. Maybe about, I'm going to make it 12. Longer than it needs to be, and just cut away where I didn't, or fold it inside. I'm just going to keep the crease, so that means right here I'm going to make the cut. Because when I sew it, it's going to have to be folded in like that anyway, and I'll just sew right across. Next, tailoring hem, tailoring pressing buck, and this is what it's used for, so that way I can do stuff like this. I love this iron, it heats up quickly. The reason why I'm making it so fat is because I'm going to put the rest of the lining up underneath and sew the rest of the armhole around. It's going to go around like this. If I didn't have the Teflon shoe on the iron, it would have melted right through. So if you don't have a Teflon shoe on your iron, make sure you use a pressing cloth. Pinning the lining up against the jacket. I'm putting it down far enough so that it's out of the way. So now I can safely take this off. So you see why I pinned them in places. I want this to be in the right position. I'm just going to lay the new lining on top of the old lining. I'm not even going to mess with the front edge right here. I'm trying to match this up. Right here. I don't want to go all the way through. There's one. I made it too wide. And to keep this in place, I could go ahead and just start sewing right now, but I'm just going to baste it. Okay. Made a knot on the thread, and I'm just going to start right here, catching the lining only, and I'm just going to make a running stitch just to baste it in place to hide the lining underneath. You see that right there? Past it and get onto the old lining again. I'm going to tack it right here. Make a knot. Not too tight. Get it? Not too tight? No. Just there. So, that's just to hold that front part in place. Now I got to worry about the rest of this. So I'm going to put it back onto inside out once again. This is going to be the funny part. If I pull up too hard on this, see what it's doing? It's pulling the whole jacket up. So it has to be loose down here, but I need to get this out of the way. Probably what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go as far as this right here. I don't want it to go all the way over to the back here. It keeps it from unraveling on me. And I want to make sure I stay above that crease line. About that much at the very least. I'm using the fingers that I have on the inside. Make sure I don't cut away the actual, it's acting like a shield. Now, I don't know if you noticed this, but when I pressed it, I was turning and pulling, just not pulling on it, but just, because I wanted to get this at a curve underneath here. So, okay, so now that's in place, roughly. I'm going to take it back off and baste it. The reason why I'm not stitching this on the very edge is because that's where the actual stitch is going to be. I don't want the basting thread to be in the way. See how I'm taking the pins out as I stitch. Felling in the lining is what they call it, because the stitch was called a fell stitch. I don't know why. So that's what they call it, felling it in. In fact, they used to employ people that's all they ever did was fell. They would fell stitch linings. That's all they would do all day long was fell, fell, fell. Okay. I got to get back on the tailoring form. So now at this point I kind of have to figure out how much of this, if any, do I need to really take out. So I'm going to sew this in first. In other words, I'm going to put the final stitch on this before I do this part. So I'm going to be doing the slip stitch, which is basically me getting underneath and going up here, just trying to get it as close to the edge of this as possible. Slightly out of practice. I used to be able to go zoot, zoot, zoot. Another way you could do it and make it a lot easier is put your hand actually in the inside of the lining, so that way it actually hits your finger and you know you're not going to accidentally catch on the cloth. Let's say like a month or so of sewing, you start realizing that your left index finger starts building up a slight callus on it because you've pricked your finger against the needle so many times. Okay, so here's the corner. I'm going to the very, very corner here, pushing through, so that way that corner is nice and secured. And just keep on going all the way around. Just keep on going. Alright, so I'm basically going to do this all the way around. We don't have to record the entire thing. Okay, so I finished sewing around the entire patch here, and I took out the basting thread, and now I was pinning all the way around underneath that patch. I'm going to start all the way from back here because that's where the original seam started messing up, and I'm going to start from that area. See, form gets that curve going. So this part goes underneath, this next part goes right there, and then I'll bring this in right here. Go a little bit past, and then just do it over a couple of times, keep it secure. We're just about done filling in the lining for the armhole. I made one little mistake right here I'm going to have to go back and fix up, and that's this part. I didn't anticipate that going in as deep as it is, so I'll fix that up after I'm done recording this. But let's see here. So it's tied off. We'll go ahead and snip the knot. There we go. And let me take out the basting thread. There we go. It's nice and sewed up all the way around, nice and secure. Yeah, her other arm's starting to tear too, so I guess I'll just fix that up before it gets worse. So a little bit of wrinkles right there, but that's okay. It's not like bad. It's actually fitting down nice and flat. There we go. That's the patch. I'm sure she'll be happy. Do you think she'll be happy?
I think she'll be just happy. She misses her coat. That's what it is. It's like her shell. She needs it.
Yeah.